Hi there, Michael here. In last week's video, I looked at the videos I made in 2024 and ranked them according to the importance they had for me. This video today is the first video I published in 2025, so I felt it is more than fitting to do a video about topics I intend to cover over the next couple of months in the year 2025. I am making this video also because I need your help. Most of these topics have been on my to-do list for quite a while, but I did not get around covering them because they need a little more preparation than my usual videos. So what I would need you to do is tell me in the comments in which of the topics you are most interested. I will then prioritize these videos. But enough said, here are the 6 topics I wanted to cover for a while, but never got around doing. Let's get started. The first topic I never got around making a video about is how do you create YouTube 360 videos? And that is a question actually that I get very, very frequently. A lot of people are wondering how do you actually do that? And it is almost criminal that I did not make a video about it yet. The question is, let's say you have something like an Insta360 action cam, which is a 360-degree action camera, and you have maybe an Ambisonics microphone such as the H3 VR from Zoom. How do you marry the Ambisonics audio from the Ambisonics microphone with the 360 video from the 360 action camera? Now, this is supposed to be simple to do, but it turns out to be actually surprisingly difficult. There is not a lot of software out there that can help you in make that marriage between the Ambisonics audio and the 360 video. In the past, we usually used Adobe Premiere to do that, but even that is a little bit tricky because you need to set up a couple of metadata in order to make YouTube understand that this is a 360 video. And many people are wondering, how do you do that? How do I do that, for example, with something like DaVinci Resolve? And that is actually a not that trivial question because it turns out to be a little bit more difficult than you would think it is. So if you're interested in that particular topic, let me know. I'm definitely interested in making a video. It's just something that requires a little bit more time because I need to figure out to make that in a way that, or kind of give an instruction that actually is easy to follow and works every single time. And that might be a little difficult to do. So let me know if this is something you're interested in. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I do a lot of videos about heads tracking, and one heads tracker that I've never really covered and that some people are actually wondering why I never did that is the VidMotion head tracker. Now, this is an interesting one because it is an extremely inexpensive head tracker. It's something that a lot of people use for all kinds of do-it-yourself projects. It is, let me just get that out of the box here. It is like this little guy here, and they come in different versions. Some smaller, some larger, some have different types of capabilities. And the interesting thing is that this is actually a head tracker that has been around for a very long time. So if you have been working with Audioease's 360 Pan Suite, for example, on Pro Tools, which was one of the very early systems that allowed you to do 360 video with audio, with Ambisonics audio, then you might know that the 360 Pan Suite from Audioease actually used that particular head tracker. Now, I have actually played around with it back then, a couple of years ago, and one of the issues that I ran into was that it drifted a lot. So I first of all, it was really unstable, and then it drifted a lot. But nevertheless, you know, kind of the development doesn't stand still. So I was kind of wondering how could we use that type of head tracker now that things have progressed a little, and does it work better than it did a couple of years ago? And a couple of people really reached out to me and asking, you know, kind of how can I use that head tracker? Because this only costs like $20. So if I want to get into head tracking, this would actually be a really good option because it literally doesn't cost anything. So let me know if this is something that you're interested in. I'd definitely be interested in doing a video about that. But once again, it requires a little bit of tinkering because it is not a head tracker that is used very frequently. The third topic I never got around doing a video about is about the Vienna Symphonic Library Mia Pro 3D plugin, which is a hyper-realistic reverb plugin, a convolution reverb. Now, one of the reasons I never made a video about it is because it is very expensive, and most of the viewers of my channel are either hobbyists or semi-professionals, but certainly people that usually don't have the money to buy into such an expensive system. Nevertheless, a couple of people have reached out to me in the past why I don't make a video about it. So this is something on my list. Now, one of the things that's really interesting about Mia Pro 3D is the GPU extension, and that essentially means that Vienna Symphonic Library has implemented an an add-on that allows you to offload some of the computation onto your GPU. And that works actually extremely well. I've tried it on my PC as well as on my Mac, and it works flawlessly. So if you're interested in me showing you how that works and how efficient it is, let me know in the comments and I can definitely make a video about it. The fourth video I always wanted to make but never got around making is a video about Audiokinetic Strata. Now, if you are not familiar with Audiokinetic are the makers of Wwise, which is an audio middleware for game developers. It's something that I covered in the past extensively. There's an entire course that I have here on YouTube that is very, very popular. And Audiokinetic about 2 years ago started to offer a subscription service that allows you to subscribe to audio effects or sound effects. And what they did is actually really interesting. They partnered with Boom Library. So through this subscription service, which is called Strata, you have access to pretty much the entire Boom Library. So this is actually really, really nice. And the nicest thing about this subscription is that this is actually really inexpensive for students and teachers. I think it costs like $100 for educational licenses per year. And that makes it really a very, very good tool for anybody in education, really, to help you with audio effects in game design. Now, one of the reasons why I never made a video about it is because it is a little bit unintuitive to use. The way this works is that you need to download the libraries as Reaper projects, and then the entire Boom library is essentially embedded in one Reaper project, and then there is a certain workflow that you have to follow in order to extract the audio from your Reaper project into your Wwise application, into your audio middleware. And that turns out to be a little more technical than most people would probably like. It's something where you need to really figure out exactly how it works, and it has a little bit of a learning curve. Let's put it that way. And I never really got around to actually doing that. Now I had a student working on that, but that student already graduated, so I'm no longer in contact with her. So I'm not sure. So maybe I do a video about Strata. Audiokinetic keeps asking me, why don't you do a video about Strata? So kind of let me know if this is something that you're interested in. I can definitely make a video about it. The next video I never got around making is a review of the Zoom H3VR Ambisonics microphone. This is a first order Ambisonics microphone, and this is something that I actually promised a long time ago. For those of you who have been following my channel for a while, I started a series of reviews of Ambisonics microphones, and this was supposed to be the third in that series, but I never really got around making that video. Now, why didn't I do the video now? This is simply because this is a relatively old device and there were so many new topics popping up that I never felt now is the time to actually do a video. I'm honestly not completely sure if a lot of people are still using that microphone. If you're one of the users and would like me to talk about it, let me know and I can make a video review. But, it's something that I've promised. So regardless, at some point, I'm probably going to do that just because I usually hold my promises. I never kind of skip on anything that I promise. The final video I've never got around making is a video about the Mach 1 Spatial Audio Software Development Kit. Now, if you have been following my channel for a while, or if you are a member of our Discord server, you know that Mach 1, in particular their plugins, are very popular among many people working with immersive audio, and that has to do with the quality of sound that it can produce. But Mach 1 has actually released a lot of their software in open source, and you can download these tools and you can work with them and you can integrate them in all kinds of applications. And I never got around making a video about it. And this is primarily because it is a rather complex topic. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Now, there's one thing that I need to point out that is particularly interesting and particularly important. And this is really the main reason why I think at some point I need to make a video about it. And that is the fact that what they have done is they have implemented or they have reverse engineered one of the most famous head trackers, which is the WaveSenX head tracker. Now, if you're working with the WaveSenX head tracker, you know that there is a little application for Mac operating systems, which is called the NX-OSC application that was done by a Japanese developer, only works on a Mac, and that application translates whatever comes out of the WaveSenX head tracker into OSC messages that you can then use in your digital audio workstation. And a lot of people were frustrated that no such equivalent application exists for Windows. Now, what Mach 1 did is they actually reverse engineered the information that comes out of the WaveSenX head tracker tracker. And in this software development kit, you will actually find software that allows you to read out the Wavesen head tracker and convert that into OSC messages. Now, for some reason, nobody ever did a very nice user interface for that. So at the moment, it is really just kind of code that you need to work with. But if there's anybody out there who knows how to program user interfaces, I invite you to go into that software development kit and check out what they have for the Wavesen head tracker, because I think a lot of people would be really interested in having a application equivalent to NX OSC on Windows systems. This would sort of allow us to really use the Wavesen head tracker on all systems and not only on Mac operating systems. So this is something I never kind of got around making a video because, quite frankly, it's a little technical and many people on my channel probably are not really interested in that kind of stuff. But if I'm wrong and kind of enough people are interested in that, let me know and I can certainly figure out how to actually access the software that makes us read out the Wavesen head tracker. Once again, this is a really cool thing that it's probably the best kept secret in immersive audio ever, right? Almost nobody knows that this actually exists, but it would be extremely useful for many people. Well, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. As always, if you have any questions or comments, either leave them in the comment section or join our free Discord server. An invite link is in the description. Also, make sure to let me know which topics you would like me to cover in the near future. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to stay updated about anything Dolby Atmos or immersive audio in general. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.